eating, his manners, his food. What was his favorite food? What did he eat? How much did he eat? And obviously with the sunnahs that we already covered in the previous halaqas, that he was always using, he was always saying Bismillah before he starts, and also eating with his right hand, and prohibited people eating with left hand. Again, I see many students, unfortunately, who come to Sunday school, they're not learning in their houses. They still eat with left hand. I don't know why. They have to be taught again and again. And also, we also covered this actually last time, that he would not eat from sadaqah. He was not allowed to eat from sadaqah. That was specific to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But he would eat from the gifts, as was evident in that hadith of Salman al-Farsi radiallahu anhu. And one thing is that when he was eating, he will not lean on the wall. Right? He didn't consider it appropriate. He said, I do not lean when I have meals. I don't do that. So it's one thing we can practice that as a sunnah as well. And sometimes it's also recorded that he would sit squatting while eating. That was his practice as well. He would do that sometimes.
One leg up,
One leg up, yeah. Also 2 legs is also there. That is also, if you eat like that, you're going to eat less. That's the whole idea. We will see. And he generally ate on the floor, and usually also when he ate, he would use how many fingers?
3.
He would use 3 fingers, and he would lick those 3 fingers after he eats. So, can we use spoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can use spoon. Also depends on the food that you're eating, but fingers also use. SubhanAllah, some scholars said that the spoon, when you're using spoons, you're using 3 fingers, so it's kind of like close to the sunnah. Allahu a'lam. But it's the thing is that we should try to eat from fingers as well. But at that time, it was also a culture that those tradition, those days they used to eat 3 fingers, and it looks decent also to eat that way.
Eat a small portion.
Small portion also, yeah. The whole idea when you eat 3 fingers is that you're not like greedy and eating, just filling up your mouth, because the way you digest it, chew it, it has to be done properly. That's the idea. And also with eating, again, one of the sunnahs that we usually miss is that he used to like to eat leftovers of a pot or a cup, or even from the previous day. He would do that. He would respect the food, and he would eat, and he would eat whatever was available. He wouldn't make demands. He wouldn't be like, I don't like this, I don't like that. He would eat. If somebody was something that was not to his liking, he would not make any comments. He would just not eat it. And so what was his favorite food?
Squash. Some kind of squash.
The most favorite food that is recorded is called the dhira. It's a portion of the meat, the shoulder portion. That was his favorite. And SubhanAllah, you remember the story of how he was poisoned by the Jew that they invited. They chose particularly to poison the shoulders, and that got affected him a little bit, because they knew that he loved a shoulder piece a lot, the forequarter. And sometimes he would say that I like best the back portion of the meat also. He said that the best meat is that of back portion. That is also recorded. But the way he used to like it was the type of cooking. He liked the roasted food a lot, the roasted meat. That was his favorite, what we call the barbecue also. That's his favorite style of food made that he liked. But what other food? So right now, if we ask people what's your favorite food, they would probably mention maybe pizza, biryani, or things like that. But those days we didn't have that. But there was this one famous dish there in Arabs tribes. They used to have this favorite dish. That name of that dish was tharid. That's something like it's a bread mixed with gravy, some kind of gravy.
And vinegar.
Yeah, that's not sure if it has vinegar, tharid. But that's coming. But this tharid is not from. Doesn't have vinegar, I believe. That was his favorite also, and as the brother said, he also used to love vinegar a lot. And we have a lot of hadith wherein Rasulullah sallallahu said that vinegar is an excellent condiment. It's an excellent condiment. It's something very great to have with anything, with bread or anything. And I mean, the scholars mention a lot about vinegar. They say that it helps you digest the food, it kills like your worms in the stomach, and a lot of benefits. And cholesterol also. It has a cold effect actually, so it can really help you with many diseases. Stops the film also, I think.
It's
Yeah.
good for arteries too.
And another favorite thing he liked was the gourd, or what you call the pumpkin, similar to it. What do we
Yeah.
call?
Yes.
Qara? Yes. We say kadu, right? Kadu in Urdu.
Yeah.
So that's
Squash.
squash.
Kind of
Also
squash,
squash.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lemon squash.
I mean,
So one
it's,
is pumpkin and
Like
yeah,
what is
it's the
different?
word
What
that
are all
the word in Arabic actually it can mean both pumpkin or squash. So we don't really know which one, but it's one of these. One of these. So Sahaba, subhanallah, they used to, they when they noticed that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam liked the squash, they would start liking it too. So that's the difference that it makes, when you love people. So it starts changing the way you look at things. And among the food, he also liked honey a lot, and there's a lot of hadith about it. And anything sweet in general, halwa, what we call, he used to like it. And when it comes to drinking, he actually, in terms of water, he liked like cold water and sweet water. He preferred that kind of water. I mean, he had a lot of things in it, but what I mentioned are the foods that he loved the most. Hadith recorded everything like olive oil, milk, cheese, yogurt, and meat of Hubara bird. I don't know how that bird looks. But also dates, also, as you know, all Arabs would love that dates. And important thing to note about his eating, even though he loved a lot of food items, how much would he eat, and the way he used to live was kind of amazing, because the Sahaba recorded that he never ate full stomach of bread for 2 consecutive days. That was his lifestyle. As we said, he used to live very simple, and he never filled his stomach twice in one day with meat or bread. It was never the case. And and we also know that famous hadith wherein the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they said that we did not light a fire for 3 months in our homes.
Right.
Because there was nothing to cook, that's why. It wasn't that they don't want to cook, there was nothing to cook. That was the way he used to live, and they were all fine and enjoying. It's just that when you see a lot of people, you want to be like them, and you try to eat a lot, you try to prepare good dishes. I mean, you can go any extent, but that's how he used to live, very simple. And they would easily survive. I mean, at that time they would eat just like the 2 black things, the dates and the water. So that's how they used to survive. And also sometimes people would send them foods, as gift, and they would eat from that as well. And we also know from many hadith that sometimes when he was hungry, what did he used to do? Fasten 2 stones on his stomach. So he would do that. Why would people do that? Because when you get hungry, at one point the pain starts, right? And then it feels very difficult to bear that pain. So that stones help you. And also when that air comes inside it, it feels more pain. So that prevents air coming inside your stomach. So there were many people doing it. People used to have 1 stone, he used to have 2 stones. That was his way. Anything, if people come to him, he was so famous, so many people would go to his house and they would say, I need food. He would just give. And you wouldn't say, I didn't eat from 2 days, why should you get food? No. He has anything, he will just give. He never said no to anybody. Even if he doesn't have, he will give it from somewhere, arrange something for a different person. And he was invited to many people also. He was a host and he was also a guest. Many hadith recorded about it. And he was also seen eating a roasted meat in the masjid that was also there. And eating meat, when he ate the meat, he would tear it with his teeth directly instead of using knives. So many people consider it as like bad manners in today's society. Oh, they just made it up. They don't know what manners is. Rasulullah ﷺ defines what manners is. That's how we get our manners. So it's perfectly okay, and it's perhaps from the Sunnah to tear the meat with your teeth when eating. It's no problem. And sometimes he would eat a little bit more, but usually, as we said, he would eat very little. And we know that famous hadith of eating just 1/3 and water 1/3. But that 1/3 is actually, you said, if you have to fill it up. He won't even fill up that 1/3, much less than that. I mean, when you start to feel like, a little bit, weak, and so you start shaking, that's when you eat. That's how his style was, just to keep your back straight. If you really want to fill something up, then you go up to 1/3. Otherwise, there's no need to eat. If you don't feel hungry, if you don't really feel weak, you don't have to eat. That's the sunnah that we are missing, unfortunately. We have to eat because, it is lunchtime, so we have to eat. Because everybody eats, we have to eat during lunch. So that's not how. So again, when you practice the sunnahs, everything fits into the schedule, how Rasulullah ﷺ used to eat. He used to sleep very little and pray more. Why? Because his lifestyle was like that. It's very easy to do that. But now if you want to be Rasulullah ﷺ, pray so much qiyamul, so many hours, but you're still filling up your 110% stomach, then it's not going to work. Okay? It's not going to work. You have to sacrifice to reach that level. So, I mean, today we have so many dieting plans and all those things, I work for a company, it's #1 in dieting when it comes to dieting, losing weight, Weight Watchers. But it's just that people do not get it. All you have to do is change your diet. That's all simple like there is to it. You don't have to look into how much calories it has, how many there's carbohydrates, fats. No. If you eat very little, you don't have to look at anything. People say, don't eat meat, don't eat, it's very fatty, beef is fatty, this is fatty. You don't look at all those things. If you are eating very little, all these things don't really matter. Okay. Of course, you have disease or something that's different, but generally speaking, all these things don't matter. You eat only when it is required. May Allah help us in practicing the sunnah. And also when it came to drinking, we have a hadith both that he would stand sometimes and sit sometimes also. Both are recorded. Sitting is preferred. If you have a reason, you can stand, but both of them are there. I think Brother Salman mentioned it in his halaqah. Both are recorded.